Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Speaking of polo,
Yes.
today on the Less Kevin, More Tech from UTEC IT, we have the Detroit Polo Club here. And actually, it's not even the Detroit Polo Club anymore. Well, it's still the Detroit Polo Club. But we have Emmalyn here, who's now our president of the Hartland Chamber. Emmalyn, welcome.
Thanks, you guys. Glad to be here.
With a gun to her head,
Right.
we made her come out.
Yeah. So actually, I should correct you a little bit.
Always do.
Dave Walker's our chamber president. Great guy. You probably know Dave Walker.
Yes, David's a wonderful
Great guy. But I'm now the director
The director.
at the chamber.
So
Technicalities. You've
you know,
always ran the show, right?
Mainly, I just, I just do the grunt work now, right?
So,
And David gets all the credit, right?
Exactly.
You
He
make
gets to
him look good.
what exactly is a director in the chamber, in the Hartland Chamber?
So we're a member-based organization, like you guys are kind of familiar with, right? You know, so what we're doing is we're looking to do programming, events, outreach, whatever it takes to help our businesses do well in Hartland.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking for all the time. It's different ways and opportunities to help our businesses do well.
So I think before we get into the Hartland discussion, we got to explain the Marco Polo opening.
We probably should.
We should.
Okay.
I think we should.
Well, it's a great story. It's
It is.
interesting. Not too many people will have her background.
It's a great American small business story, and it's what chambers are made up of, and
Yeah, absolutely.
So give us the background, because we know a little bit, but help the audience.
So my husband and I run the Detroit Polo Club, and it's our small business in Hartland. And everybody says Detroit Polo Club in Hartland. How did you get there?
Right.
Well, Detroit Polo started down on Belle Isle, and then as everything kind of grew out in Detroit, through the 50s, they were out kind of by White Lake area, and we keep going. So Polo's been played in Detroit since the turn of the century. Well, I should say that.
Two turns of the century.
Yeah, two turns of the century.
wow.
Now,
The Cowboys
right?
and Indians started it.
Right. Major military sport, right?
Is that the...
Yeah, so, and then through the World Wars and everything, it still was played, and the Ivory brothers that owned Ivory Moving had a polo team. And they played in the White Lake area for years. And there's actually still a little bit of a polo field there, which is kind of cool, right? But we just slowly sort of moved out as everything, in Detroit has sort of pushed us out. So we were in Milford for years, where the high school's at. And then in 98, 99, we moved out to Hartland.
Wow.
And that's where I found it, was then in college. So I went to Michigan State.
Proud
Grew up
Spartan.
riding horses, and was looking for a horse activity. A friend of mine said, "Hey, we should go try this." They were just starting a team there. We had no idea. We'd never picked up a mallet or anything. We just rode horses, and basically it was like if you showed up, you were in.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, cool, we'll try it.
Yeah.
And it was sort of the beginning of the end for me, right? I have an animal science degree in nutrition, which is sort of a funny convergence from there to here. But, I picked that up in college, worked for a guy who mentored me and sort of put me on the path to running a polo club and a polo school. A great guy, amazing guy. And I got to go to Florida in the winters, come back here in the summer. It was beautiful, like
Smart
75
lady.
and sunny all the time.
A charmed life.
It's fantastic. But I met my husband there, and we have a couple kids now, and we're settled down in Hartland.
Kevin, have you ever played polo?
No, I've seen polo before, and it's very fascinating. I don't understand the rules or the scoring, but just to see these big horses out there just running, and the beauty of the strength and the power and the cutting, and then you got idiots like us on here, whacking a ball with a mallet, right?
I know. What's kind of funny is that they're just as competitive as we are, and they're almost like big dogs. They know where that ball is all the time.
Oh.
They're following it and they're watching it. So it's a it's a unique partnership,
Yeah.
you know, that is sort of unique to the equestrian world. A lot of people don't, it's not.
So you're saying partnership, you're talking the rider and the horse. They're
Yeah.
operating like one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and if your horse has a bad day, you know, they have bad days just like we have bad days, right? You know, so maybe that chucker, you know, period of play in polo is called a chucker, 7.5 minutes. Maybe that's not going to go so well for you.
So what's a period of play?
A chucker.
Very.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes, clock stops for the whistle. So
We've been called chuckers many times,
Yeah,
haven't
I
we?
was gonna say.
like, wait a minute. Somebody's called me that before.
So what's it like as a player? I mean, give us the visceral.
Oh man,
story.
it's so intense. It's so much fun. When you get running up and down the field with a group of, you know, there's 7 other players on the field with you, right? 2 mounted officials. So when you get running up and down the field, the rush that you get from that is like nothing else you'll ever experience, right? Like maybe IndyCar. I don't know. You know, but the speed and the power that's underneath you is pretty intense, and it's addictive, you know, quite honestly. And that's kind of the problem with polo. It's sort of very addictive, you know.
Well, I'm always amazed. My wife's ridden horses a little bit, and you know, I got my daughter into it. But riding horses is very technical, and they just show horses, and it's the core. It's using the legs to guide the horse, and the horse picks up on your signal. So I could only imagine. And that's where they just prance around this little, you know, circle in a square. And I could only imagine now you got, you know, 13 other horses out there, right, running around.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? You know, because it's very physically intensive.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's the strategy of the game. And, you know, working.
So what is the strategy?
I was
Can you
just
give us a high level? 'Cause we're bozos.
Well, I mean, when you watch polo, quite honestly, it looks like a hot mess out there. Right?
It really
you know,
does.
it's like they're all.
It's like this
running in
podcast.
Everybody's running in a million different directions. You can't figure out what they're doing. And we always say as a spectator, it's so hard because polo is always on the opposite side of the field from you, right? You know, it just feels like it's far away. So, you know, what we do is, this is going to sound kind of funny, but it's called line of the ball.
All right.
And it's sort of like creating lines of traffic. So when I hit the ball, it's like the dotted line down the middle of the road. And we have, you can only use your right hand. It's a safety issue, right? So everybody has to hit the ball with the right hand with their mallet. Mm-hmm. So we have offside play and near side play. So the right and left side is of the horse. So if I hit that ball on my right side, I have to maintain my lane of traffic. And however that ball changes, it changes the direction of that traffic.
And the horse is following.
And the horse is following that, right? So you're directing and guiding, but it's also full contact, right? Mm-hmm. So if I want to take over somebody's lane of traffic, I can come in and make contact with my horse and move them over.
Wow.
Which is
demolition derby.
Yeah, exactly. It's like roller derby and hockey and soccer, like all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so
is it like, I got to ask this. So do you have plays?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we have positions on the field, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
So 1 is like the super offensive player, like going to goal all the time, looking for a pass going forward. The 2 is sort of the getting dirty. They're offensive, defensive, you know, always in the mix. 3 is kind of like a quarterback. And the 4, it plays back in the field. So a lot of defensive work. Right.
So if you come out, you'll be number 5. They'll let you play goalie.
Yeah, that's what I'd want to be.
we always say that when people first start playing polo, you know, they're kind of out of the mix a lot. You know, we're like, but it's still best seat in the house.
Yeah.
You know, you can see everything that's going on.
So to add to my ignorance here, is there a goalie?
There's no goalie. There's no goalie.
That would just
there's
suck.
2 uprights and you can ride through it.
Okay.
So yeah, thankfully there's no goalie because that would get ugly fast.
I mean,
We'll give you a catcher's mitt and a face mask, and you can go down there and shag balls. But it's dangerous too, because you've got these animals moving at a high level, right? And anybody, if you fall off a horse, and so
I mean,
there's a thrill of that too, along with
right. I mean, there's
adrenaline.
a little bit of danger involved with it, you know, but it's probably just as dangerous as driving down the road right now. You know, it's a little hectic out there, so.
Yeah, I seen some road rage this morning. So, yeah.
Right, we got some construction going on.
Right,
People are a little irritated, so you know it's kind of
Sure.
You know, everything. You know, everything.
So,
is.
Detroit Polo Club. Mm-hmm. It's all things you, and it's a passion of yours.
Yes.
And you've been involved in the chamber, and anybody that knows the Hartland Chamber, we associate it with the Polo Classic that the chamber puts on. It's just a fabulous event that's fun to get out to and feel like a big shot at.
Yeah.
So how did we convince you to give up this passion and switch and take over for a wonderful lady? We lost Katie, and that's a shame that she chose to do something different.
I know, we miss her.
Big shoes to fill, but you
Yes.
raised your hand and said, I'm going to do this. Tell us about that.
So, well, and you guys know Katie, right? She's a person that she likes to bring you into the fold, right? Make you feel like you're a piece of whatever it is that she's involved with, which is an incredible skill, right? And an incredible talent, and what makes Katie so amazing. And, when her and I started, the polo event and started working together, we really get along well. We work together really well. And, then she started kind of, as all those things go, started sucking me into like different chamber things and involving me in different things. And I got to know a lot of the people in the chamber, and I just really love the Hartland Chamber. We have really good people, really great businesses, and dedicated people in that chamber. So, I served on the board. I was board president for a couple years, and when Katie went to step away, we all kind of did that. Oh no, what are we gonna do? And I've been looking for a change, just a different challenge, something new for a couple years, and this fits really well. For where I'm at, it's 10 minutes from my house, 10 minutes from the polo field. It's a beautiful thing, right? And it still involves polo.
Yeah.
Which is
it's a signature event for you.
All right, let's go ahead and ask the question you're dying to ask. I know it. Does she drive to work, or does she ride a horse?
I know. I just daily my horse up, right outside the building, and it mows the grass all day while I get work done.
Nice, I like it. So you've taken over as director. And
yes.
So what are some ideas or plans or direction? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish?
I think. Obviously, Katie has set the trajectory of the chamber, on its awesome path forward, and it's really, a lot of it is just keeping that momentum going, and the energy and the culture that's there, keeping all of that and everybody engaged, right? But we talk about the polo event, and we love that event.
Yes.
And we've only really engaged the business community so far with that event, and we'd really like to engage families and people outside of the chamber in that event, something that is easily accessible. You can drop in for a few hours.
So what are some ideas you have for that?
So we'd love live music.
Okay.
Wouldn't we all love some live music and, a beer tent, kids games, just something more casual. I always laugh. I compare Detroit Polo Club, there's champagne polo and there's beer polo.
Okay.
We're more beer polo, right? Like everybody that plays there has a 9-to-5 somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is their hobby. They're weekend warriors, right? And we all love what we do. So we don't want to bring the air of it being inaccessible to people and sort of hoity-toity, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
there's a part of that everybody loves, though, right?
Yeah.
You like that high-end, kind of cool, sophisticated event.
Right.
So we want to keep that piece there. But we also want to, share our beer polo,
right?
Our casual. Bring your kids out, have a good time, be able to pet the ponies and hang out with the players and watch some polo and tailgate.
So your goal is to get more community involvement.
Yes, absolutely. We have a really great partnership with our schools, township, and library, and the chamber. We call it Partners in Progress, and we've worked really hard to make those four bodies kind of come together and work together to help the community do more community events, right? And engage the community in everything that these four different organizations are doing. So that I think is a beautiful tie-in with Polo, and I love that Polo kind of gives Hartland a bit of identity.
It really does. I mean,
you know
it's
what
very
I mean?
unique.
It's a cool thing. And how many other polo clubs do you? I mean, did you go down? Up to Flint and watch some polo, or did you, go down?
Right.
You didn't, right? You came to Hartland to watch polo. So that's something that we want to be able to share with the larger community.
That's awesome.
Well, I know from a business, we've been involved with it, supporting it. We've had folks go to the event, and it's really cool because you get to dress up, right? And you're supposed to wear your big hats. It's kind of like the Kentucky Derby meets the Hartland Chamber, and
yeah, exactly. Like, how many other opportunities do you have to, kind of get dressed in, your seersucker suit and that hat? And, you don't have many other opportunities for that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we really want to, take that event and make it so that we can bring in the larger community, because I think that's something that's sort of missing in Hartland right now, is a cool summer event. And we'd like to, engage that way, which I think is, a cool way to bring more people.
Now, can you handle the crowds out there? Because I know it's well attended by the chamber members, and it's a highlight event. You got enough room for all these community members?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A polo field is 10 acres. Did you know that? It's
I did not know that.
It's huge. It's a huge space.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just the playing surface, right?
Wow.
So you have, all that supporting area that goes around it. It's a great way, to, both sidelines can be filled. Right now, you guys have been to the event, right? We have the one sideline with the fenced in tent, right? Because we've got the bar and all the cool things that happen inside there. Mm-hmm. But you have a whole other sideline.
How are the members of the chamber today? Are they open to this message?
Yeah, so everybody in the chamber loves that polo event, right? It's something that they look forward to every year, and we've talked about, you've sat in board meetings for chambers, right? You sit there and you think about, we really would like to have something else in the summer, and I think this is, sort of an easy way to make this event, into something a little bigger and better,
right?
For Hartland in general.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but aside from that, we do a lot of other small stuff. We do, meet and greets and all the other things that happen.
Ribbon cuttings.
Ribbon cuttings.
Yeah.
Lots of ribbon cuttings. Lots of ribbon cuttings in Hartland right now, which is pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Which is
That's
really cool.
sign.
We have so many cool businesses and people that want to get into Hartland. We've got a bunch of buildings going up right now, which is
it's a growing area.
Which is exciting, right? It's a cool thing. It used to just be the Oasis. Do you guys remember that Oasis truck stop? I mean, that was people stopped there on their way up north, right? Like, we're not just the Oasis anymore. Like, we're somebody. We've got cool stuff
things going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's always been a big passion for the businesses to be involved in the chamber in Hartland, right? That's one thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of pride there, and we do have a lot of great businesses in the Hartland area, and I'm excited to hear what you're saying, that there's more coming, because it's what we need over there.
Yeah, exactly. We're at a great location, right, with the 5923.
Yeah, very accessible.
Very accessible. And
well, it used to be.
Yeah.
We got some construction coming up here.
It's a little wild right now, but, talk to MDOT about that later. I don't know if you guys have had MDOT on the podcast. Maybe that's the next guy to get in here.
Well, it's about to get crazy, because I think they're shutting down Main Street here in Brighton in the near future. Then we're going to have the Hilton Grand River Road. They're going to do that bridge over
that
there.
Whole thing, right?
We've
that
got
whole
the Flex
interchange.
route, which will be good once it's over with. It'll be good for the Hartland community to get traffic up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there plan to do
96.
all this all at the same time so that you absolutely have no way to get out?
I'm assuming that's probably the plan, right? Make it as difficult as possible. No, I don't.
I wonder if that's a topic of the meetings, because it sure seems like it. If they get around all the MDOT people.
Yeah, hey. Who can we mess with today?
Let's put it all at one time. No, actually, there's some thought to it, and
we don't know what the thought is, but there's some thought.
I think it's just they think we're a really cool area, and they want to hang out here.
Well, it's a testament to the growth, and people want to be here.
That's true.
And I think that the flex lane on 23, we go down from Brighton to Ann Arbor. I think that will be better for the whole area when we get it up that way. And
that's a major choke point for everybody, right?
Yeah, they always should have extended the freeway years ago to up past 59 there. But I think it will be good for the whole area, and it opens up.
No, absolutely. You think about all that traffic that comes up 23 there. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing for Hartland. Very good thing for Hartland.
So we are blessed because in Livingston County, we've got 3 great chambers.
Yes.
And they're all a little bit different and have their own unique personality. And now with you in charge of the Hartland Chamber, this is going to be really fun. I think, I think you're dropping the gauntlet there and telling Janelle and Pam they got to raise their game because there's you're coming in, right?
Well, and I just had my first meeting with Pam and Janelle this week, and we started talking about Chamber Alliance and this partnership that we have between the three chambers.
Did you tell them they got to get their own polo team?
I know. I was like, you guys, you got to get in on this polo thing. It's kind of cool,
I think it should be our secret there in Hartland.
Right. I know. I'm going to kind of keep that to myself. Gotcha. I like that a lot, but they are wonderful people to work with, and everybody's vision is for growth and moving forward in a positive direction, which is that mindset is so important for this area because we have so much opportunity and potential here that if they see and know that, right? And they know that Hartland wants to be a piece of that puzzle, and we want to engage and be a part of the greater, community. We're all so close, right? Like we talked about earlier, it's a small sandbox, right? We've all gotta, bring our toys and share and get along, right? So I think it's a really important piece of that. And the other part of that, though, is that we all know that we have our own identity,
right,
and our own, culture within our chambers, and I think we're all very respectful of that. And
then that way you can share and work together for the greater good.
Yes, because if Howell's doing well, I'm doing well. If Brighton's doing well, I'm doing well. If I'm doing well, they're doing well. It's all it's a partnership.
Yeah, and the converse is also true.
Right. If they're starting to struggle, that's sort of a bellwether, right? That the rest of us are going to start to see the same struggles. So we really, we want to stay positive and move forward and, grow together, which is, for our businesses and all, that's a good thing.
Right.
That's a really good thing.
It's exciting.
Being involved with the chambers and seeing it, you all do work well together. And we face the same issues, whether you're in Hartland, Howe, or Brighton. And so it's good to see you guys working together versus apart because, we've got housing issues, right, for, affordability so we can have workers out here, to fill the jobs that we're creating out here. We need to work with the politicians to make sure the, taxes are, that we've got a strong community, that the taxes are at the right level so we can support infrastructure, right? But yet not cripple businesses.
And still keep everybody afloat, right? That we're progressing forward, but we're not moving so fast and so hard ahead that we're starting to lose people on the way up, right?
Interesting.
So I think that's an important piece of all of it, right? Is that schedule our events so that we can all participate in all the things. We want to do all the things all the time, right? You want to be able to be a part of those. That
Sounds
stuff.
like you got yourself a good challenge.
I do. But that's kind of the fun part, right?
Yeah,
That's what makes everything fun. If it wasn't challenging, like, why would you do it?
Sure.
So, and I've got an awesome board to work with. They're incredibly supportive and, all, really engaged in the community. So I think that that helps me kind of step into this role and feel pretty confident that, we're gonna be okay.
Someone's got your back.
Yeah, exactly, which is an amazing thing to have.
So along 23, we've got the freeways coming in. We're expanding some of that stuff, but M59 is a great corridor, and you stretch along there. Is there anything you're trying to do to help businesses over there? Is there anything we could do to help?
Yeah, so that construction right now, of course, is challenging for all those businesses along 59, right? So we're doing a couple ribbon cuttings through that area. We're trying to keep, we've got school started, right, in Hartland this week. So, and for Howell too, I think as well.
Sure.
So we've got all that additional traffic coming in, and so it's just helping communicate what's happening and what's going on and what to expect. I think really helps, businesses understand what's going on, and that's what's great about our partnership with the schools in the township, right? We all work together and meet and talk about what's happening and how we can help each other, what the township has going on so that we can help businesses, better understand as they're coming into the community, that the township is not a scary thing. They're here to help. They're all there to make you successful, and to know how to, contact them and work with them.
So do the chambers reach out I'll just say like larger companies that might be, in the community and bring them into the fold? Or is the chamber primarily, the small, medium business?
So for the Hartland Chamber, of course, like the bulk of our membership are, are those really small businesses, like 2 to 10 employees, right? But we have larger businesses within our community. So we want to reach out and bring those guys in as well, right? And get them engaged with maybe some of these little guys that have services to offer, right? And help the little guys access the big guys, right? And make those partnerships, so that they're doing business to business.
Yes.
Which is a really cool thing to see happen.
And that accelerates, it makes for a healthy community.
Yes.
And, I also think it helps with the relevance of the chamber, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a lot of, when people come into a chamber, they're like, well, what can the chamber do for me?
Right. Yeah.
Like what is this? I mean, that was my question as a business owner. I was like, well, why would chamber's not even on my radar, to be honest. I've got, I'm sitting here, running my business, doing, my day to day. What can the chamber do for me? And really, I think for business, especially if you're a small business owner, finding a way to step into the business community that's easy, right? Like all these events and meetings and stuff like that, committees that you can sit on, all that stuff. That's the chamber's there to help you do that, so that you have now suddenly you're making connections and networks that you didn't maybe think you had time to pick your head up and look at before.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But I think the ideal chamber member might be just a flip of that. Them coming in and saying, what can I do for the chamber? Because I think if you take that approach, you can get in there. And like you said, you can start working on some committees. You can start working on groups, bring some ideas there to help the chamber.
Yeah, no,
and it's that connections that you make that are invaluable. And the other businesses see you and get a chance to know you as a person and then make a decision if they want to do business with you going forward.
Well, right. And it's just a great way, if you take that attitude as you come into the chamber, like what can I do here? Like what can I engage with? These doors open for you. People that you wouldn't have a chance to really meet or engage with on a personal level before. That's what you can do at the chamber.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because there's so much that they will do. People just got to get involved, and just naturally it'll come to you from the chambers. And I think our young kids today, that we always, the young kids, they're not right. They're not right. but they've lost some of that sense, whether it's a Kiwanis or a Lions Club or, the volunteer work or working with the chamber, that if you bring that spirit to what can I do for this organization, there's so much more that you'll learn. You'll get mentorship. You'll get connected. You'll find
it's just the
amazing
energy
people
that you come out of. A lot of you go to a chamber event, and you've been, trucking along in your lane, right, with your business, doing your thing, and you
get
step
re-energized.
into get some fresh ideas, some fresh energy, talking to some fresh faces. That's all good stuff, to keep your business fresh and moving forward.
Yeah, because during, looking backwards, right, and we hate to do that, but during the COVID, I know the chambers were very active in getting resources out to businesses, getting information out to them, keeping them, making them aware of programs that were available and help them hold their hands to walk through it, right?
For as Zoom fatigued as we all got through that, it really was like sort of a blessing, right? Because you were like, oh my gosh, it's another face. Look at that. Oh, there's other people out there. Thank God. So
and that's what's cool about the chambers too. We're back in session, right?
Yes.
We've been back. We want to meet.
So
we want to
nice.
get engaged again, and it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. You're finally in person with people again, and right. Zoom was great. But it's not. It's just not the same.
Substitute, right?
You don't have the same conversations with people, right?
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to tell us about the chamber, or can we get on to the good stuff? Start talking about bourbon.
Priorities, I see. No, I just, I want to share that I'm really excited to be a part of, kind of taking the lead at the chamber, and I've got,
listening to you, nobody would have gotten that idea that you're excited about the chamber.
Yeah. A little bit excited, just a little excitable. But, if anybody has questions about Hartland Chamber or,
Yep.
cool ideas or something they want to engage with, pick up the phone, give me a call.
Yeah, and we'll have your contact information too at the bottom of the screen.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear from people.
Yeah. Sounds to me like the Hartland Chamber's in good hands.
Hey, I appreciate that.
It does.
Yeah, really good hands.
Kevin, I think you got a question that you want to ask.
Well, when we're out at the Polo Club,
Yeah.
and we reach for a glass of bourbon, what do we reach for?
Well, I think today we have a little Angel's Envy.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm an Eagle Rare kind of a girl. I like that. That's my favorite, but
That's the word on the street. You are rare.
yeah. Little medium rare, I don't know. Yeah. No, but this smells really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about,
Yeah, let's have a
Cheers.
little toast to the Hartland
Yeah.
Chamber.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Detroit
Here's
Polo
to
Club.
Chambers and Polo and
Well,
drinking bourbon.
We are fortunate as a community that you did raise your hand and volunteer to do this and say, hey, I'll be the next voice and bring my vision here to the chamber and lead us, because it is good. And we need somebody like you that's dedicated to helping all our businesses grow, and we appreciate that.
Well,
now,
thank you.
at the Polo thing, though, Les,
Yeah.
when you come next year, because you will be there next year after
Yeah.
listening to this,
Oh, yeah.
just don't be like the Porter brothers from Grace and Porta. I mean, like, they showed up with their faces painted. They had their shirts off. They were booing the horses. We had to go over and tell them that's really not appropriate here, But it's a family event, right? There's kids here and there are families. So we'll keep them away, but come out and, wear your best big hat and Kentucky outfit. And
Yeah, exactly.
Have a good
And
time.
look for some changes in that event next year. It's going to
Okay.
be cool. It's going to be fun. You guys are going to love it.
Perfect.
That's fun. Well,
Cheers.
everybody.
Cheers.